This is the Snoppa Go. It is the easiest, most intuitive to use handheld gimbal for your GoPro camera that I've ever used. It just has the major flaw of not working with the newer GoPro Hero 5 camera. The Snoppa Go is controlled through a button and a joystick. The button is used to control power, and the joystick is used to control where the camera is pointing as well as mode. So the camera, it's got 3 modes: pan, which keeps the orientation of the camera locked while allowing you to twist the gimbal to pan it side to side. It's got follow mode, which means that it'll point the camera wherever you point the gimbal, and lock mode, which will keep the orientation of the camera locked regardless of where you put the camera. Probably the coolest feature of this Snoppa Go is the fact that you're able to control the GoPro from the gimbal itself. Turning the gimbal on turns on the camera and starts recording. Turning the gimbal off stops recording. This makes using this gimbal extremely easy. One tap of the button on the back of the gimbal starts the camera recording and activates the gimbal, meaning that it's super seamless to use and really is one of my favorite features about it. It also is able to charge your GoPro, which means that despite the camera being a bit of a pain to mount, once the camera is mounted onto the gimbal, you never really need to remove it, especially because you still have access to the SD slot and USB slot on the camera when mounted into the gimbal. To mount the camera to the gimbal, it's a bit of a time-consuming process. You have to undo 2 bolts at the back of the camera, bolt on a retaining clip that holds the camera into place, but once it's on, you really don't ever have to remove it, and it is just kind of one with the gimbal. You charge the gimbal through a micro USB port on the side of the nice rubber covered handle, and an additional feature which I'm really pleased to see is the fact that the top and back motors are covered by a rubber pad, which means that even if you max out the rotation of the gimbal, the camera doesn't bounce against metal, it bounces against rubber, which doesn't damage anything. The camera is connected to the gimbal through a bridge connector which plugs into the Hero port on the back of the Hero 3 and Hero 4 cameras and then connects directly into the gimbal. The footage that you shoot when using the Snoppa Go is awesome. Just like any other 3-axis gimbal I've used, it shoots smoother, more stable, more cinematic looking video footage than you can shoot freehand. It allows for amazing, stable looking video, which does add a very professional touch to any video production that you use it in. If you look at the video footage on the GoPro YouTube channel versus any other GoPro footage you see online, the big dividing factor is how stable the footage is on the GoPro channel. A 3-axis gimbal is a very easy way to create your own extremely stable video footage. The Snoppa Go is one of my favorite gimbals because it is small, compact, and easy to use. It's got one button on the back to operate it, which really sets it apart from something like the Rider M. Having said that though, it doesn't work with the Hero 5, and this to me is almost a deal breaker. These gimbals are not cheap. They're the price basically of another GoPro camera, which means that it would sure be nice if you didn't have to upgrade your gimbal and your GoPro at the same time. It'd be nice to know that you could buy a gimbal and use it for several different versions or iterations of your GoPro camera, and you didn't have to buy a new gimbal every time a new GoPro camera came out. If you have a Hero 3 or a Hero 4 camera and you love it and you're not planning on upgrading, then you should totally check out the Snoppa Go. It's an amazing, compact gimbal that was solely designed around being the best, most compact gimbal possible for shooting video with a GoPro Hero 3 or Hero 4 camera. However, if you're thinking of upgrading to the Hero 5 shortly down the road, I wouldn't look at this and I wouldn't put this much money into something which only works with a single camera. Having said that, gimbals which work with multiple different kinds of cameras tend to be much larger. My favorite feature about the Snoppa Go is the fact that it's small and compact and it doesn't punish you for taking a gimbal with you. It's really not that much bigger than a small handle or hand grip for your GoPro camera, meaning that there isn't really much difference between taking a small hand grip or a small GoPro pole and taking the Snoppa Go 3-axis gimbal. The only difference is this allows you to shoot absolutely amazing stable video footage, whereas a GoPro pole doesn't. If you guys have enjoyed this video, get subscribed, and if you want to make sure you never miss any of my content, click that little bell symbol beside the subscribe button. That'll ensure that anytime I post a video, you are the first to know about it. Until next time, guys, thank you very, very much for watching.